It's another episode of Dinner in the Dark. Now, no kidding, in my family, when load shedding goes out, our best friend is our gas stove because we can still cook. And that's what this whole show is about. It's about when the lights go out, if they go out, you've got your friend gas stove to cook on. Now, baking bread, right? We think baking bread, we think we gotta use the oven. No, you can do a variety of breads stovetop, one of them being one of my favorite breads in the whole wide world, a flatbread. I've got a recipe for this flatbread in my cookbook, which is the one that I'm using. It's a very simple recipe, but the first thing we're gonna do is to get a pan on the flame and get the pine nuts into the pan. It's a beautiful thing when you toast nuts, how that flavor that you get and that lovely aroma that comes through. And I know, like for me, when I see pine nuts, I think money. People, it's expensive. It is something that is not cheap, but the flavor, man, I just love it so much. And because this dish is really simple, it's a meat-free dish, we really want to use the nuts and the whipped feta that we're going to be making to really bring on the flavor in this dish. So lights are off, mood is set, I got candles, but I've also got a beautiful headlight to change the game, which helps you to see what we need, which is all of this that's happening right here. Lovely little tan that's going on these nuts. And that smell, as soon as that whiff of roasted or caramelized comes through on the nuts and you start to really have that full whiff of pine nuts in your kitchen, you're good to go. So I'm gonna take this off and back into the bowl they go. In the same pan, cumin seeds, love cumin. Let's move onto this bowl to make our dough, which is dead easy. Some flour, a little bit of garlic powder, baking powder, and then the last final dry ingredient, these toasted cumin seeds. And that garlic and cumin really is the flavor and the magic behind this bread. And now we go in with our yogurt. I think another thing also to be in mind when you're making these flatbreads is you also don't want to go too thin on them because you really want that little bit of fluffiness that the bread brings, otherwise it's just going to be toast. This dough will feed a good family of 4 if you're having one or two flatbreads each of this size. Now we're going to make the whipped feta, which generally you would make in a blender, right? You would make in a Smeg blender. Now I'm gonna make it the way that we would make it without having lights. So here we've got all our ingredients that we are going to be needing to make our whipped feta: crumbed feta, cream cheese, olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper. Okay, so feta crumbed up by hand and cream cheese, here we go. Juice of half a lemon, drizzle of olive oil, pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and now we mush. Feta is like this underrated cheese that always just gets topped on salads as a garnish for a salad, but that saltiness that the cheese has got, really, I dig it. I vibe with you, feta. Okay, that's done. In a pan, we are going to get these tomatoes in there. Tomatoes, love tomatoes. And what I want to try and achieve here by pan frying them is just to really bring out that flavor and to also soften them a little bit. Whilst that olive oil is heating up, I'm just going to slice these in half. And whilst those tomatoes are cooking, we can get our flatbreads done. Pan is feeling good. Let's go in with our bread. These cook really quickly as well. Brush this side with olive oil without disturbing those air pockets because that's what gives the bread a lot of character. And we turn this bad boy. See what it looks on the other side. Oh yeah. So as you can see here, we've got that lovely breadiness from the bread, that tomatoiness that comes through like from the tomatoes, that cheesiness that we're after from the cheese, and of course that herbiness from the herbs. All right, let's plate up. Nice generous dollop of our whipped feta. Beautiful tomatoes. Pine nuts. Some additional herbs. That right there, my dear friends, is love on a plate and happiness in the tum. Dinner in the dark, beautiful flatbread with whipped feta. The only thing left to do is to taste this creation.